South Africa faces a printing backlog of over 500,000 driver's license cards. A Sunday Times report has revealed that a 7-member government delegation sent to Europe to inspect new card printing machines visited countries like France and the Netherlands despite the machines not being there. Instead, the delegation reportedly viewed an unrelated machine owned by IDEMIA, that's the bidding company. The 900 million rand contract was awarded to IDEMIA last year, but has since come under investigation by the Auditor General, following allegations of irregularities raised by the organisation undoing tax abuse. Now, Outa has also released a video showing the delegates toasting each other in Amsterdam. Department spokesperson Colm Sebi says they've now approached the High Court for a declaratory order on the tender.
The findings in the main relates to the prescripts, that in terms of the supply chain management prescripts, those were not followed to the latter. But also there was an issue about the visit to Europe to see this particular machine that we're trying to procure, where then a different machine was seen by the committee.
I understand. They travelled to France to see a machine that actually wasn't in France, that the machine was either in the Czech Republic or Greece. Was it a case of misrepresentation by the supplying company, or was it something else that resulted in them being shown a machine that's not the one that they wanted to purchase?
Look, our conclusions are based on the findings by the Auditor General.
Yes.
So we're not quite sure of the details when it comes to that. Hence, some of these issues will be ventilated in court. But at this point, as we sit, I cannot tell you whether that machine they saw cannot do the same work that was supposed to be done by the other one. So, but these are issues that were picked up by the Auditor General.
Well, let's unpack the story further with Wayne Duvenage. He's the CEO of the organisation Undoing Tax Abuse. Wayne, good morning. I mean, it is quite sickening, isn't it, to watch a video of I would love to go to France and to the Netherlands and go and toast with a bunch of colleagues on a trip that's unrelated to the reason why we are travelling to Europe.
Yeah, this whole driver's license card tendering process has been an ongoing debacle, quite frankly. It smacks of corruption, gross maladministration, and we've asked the DG several years ago if we could just be appraised and kept in the loop, and there's transparency around this whole driver's license printing machine, because we know there's a lot of money to be made here. And yet we were kept in the dark. This tender was put out 3 times. And a lot of delays in the last tender. A lot of people, 25 people, expressed interest to be part of this tender. Only 5 eventually got to make it through to the tender process. And it became a case of the last man standing being IDEMIA. The others were struck off for administrative and technical reasons. And somewhere along the line, this site inspection took place. Who paid for it? We're not sure whether it was IDEMIA or the department itself. Nonetheless, so many red flags came up with this tender, and the whistleblower gave us a lot of information, which we then raised the alarm in September last year, so nearly a year ago, when the department awarded this tender to IDEMIA. Fortunately, the minister put it on hold, got the Auditor General involved, and it was suspended. They're now trying to make it an order of the court, but this has just gone on for far too long.
It really has. If you can, Wayne, if you could just give us some context around when this video was filmed versus when the entire issue around the IDEMIA contract first came to light.
Well, the issue came to light in September once the announcement was made. We had already received information from the whistleblower, but we weren't sure whether the department was going to go ahead and issue this tender to them. The minute they did on the 1st of September was when we contacted the minister. Prior to that, we had already raised our concerns around what was happening with this tender. So it was quite surprising to see that they even, awarded it to IDEMIA. But just prior to that, I imagine there would have been the site inspection. Some of the processes involved in the awarding these tenders does require a site inspection just to see what it is exactly that they are tendering for, whether it works. But as you can see in the feedback that the Auditor General has presented and in that video, looked more like a party and some entertainment happening, because it doesn't seem like the team that went over actually inspected the workings of the actual machine that they intended purchasing.
Yeah, I mean, IDEMIA itself supplies this type of technology to a range of countries around the world, right? According to the information we have here, it supplies 2/3 of US states with driver's license issuances. But alongside that, they're also related to a number of scandals around the world. It was also surprising when this tender was awarded, because there was also a cancelled AXA deal, wasn't there, involving IDEMIA. They were contracted to deliver a biometric system at Home Affairs that ran way over time, way over budget.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're quite right. There's a number of questions around their conduct just here in South Africa with AXA and the Department of Home Affairs. Also to note that there are the other tenderers that were struck off for technical reasons is what we were asking questions to the Bid Evaluation Committee. Why were they struck off the tender on technical matters when they already, some of these other suppliers, provide services to Home Affairs? For instance, the printing of the current ID cards is already done by those companies. They have the technical expertise and the ability to manage these systems, and yet for some reason they didn't make it through the technical evaluation process. So again, there were just too many flags. And by the way, the tender price doubled from just under 500 million to just under 900 million for this tender, with no reasons provided for that. And on top of that, the government printing works, quite frankly, which does the large part of our ID cards, is capable of doing this printing, and yet and the driver's license card account understand this and know this, and yet they choose to go with the expensive options, which costs you and I more money. So again, too many questions, and we hope the minister deals with this once and for all.
Yeah, the driver's license card account is the entity responsible for this leg of what the Department of Transport does. And I understand that the original amount that the DLCA, the driver's license card account, had budgeted for, as you say, was around 490 million rand. It's now much closer to R1 billion, but again, we have no assurances around what the value of the tender actually is. Is that still true?
Yeah, we think so. And again, which is why it needs to be cancelled. And, quite frankly, we believe an in-depth investigation needs to take place as to what happened here, because it's gone through 3 ministers, this whole tender, from Fikile Mbalula to Sindisiwe Chikunga to now current Minister Barbara Creecy. It's taken years to get here. And I think if you have a good forensic investigation in this matter, you will find that this was steeped in corruption, it was steeped in interests that are not geared towards the best outcomes for the society and the public and the country at large. And our biggest concern is that no one's held accountable. People need to be fired for this type of conduct and this delay. And we need to get to the bottom of what's happening here. It's just costing this country far too much money. These delays are not good for administration in this country. And the quicker we get to the bottom of it, hold people accountable, get the new tender process or the new supply chain process in place, and get our new card machine or new card supply fixed up so that we can have all the security features and hopefully extend the validity period to 8 or 10 years, as has been spoken about for some time. This just goes on and on and on. Gross maladministration.
Yeah. I mean, there was some light at the end of this tunnel at one stage, because the new Minister Barbara Creecy did also mention in Parliament that we might be buying 3 driver's license printing machines. And that was what the 1 billion rand would have been for. Again, we have no clarity on this issue. But, when you talk about this entire process being corruption-ridden, and recouping the money that's been lost throughout us trying to finalize our driver's license card printing machine. The video that Outa sent us of this delegation going to France and the Netherlands, these countries that are unrelated to the driver's license printing machine. I mean, these are the types of monies that need to be recovered, right? Because who paid for the trip?
Yeah, we need to get answers on that. Who did pay? I would imagine that you would hope. Well, if it's a site inspection, we as the government would have to pay for that. There should be no interference and from suppliers. But those are the questions that we need answering on as well. You know, who did pay for the trip, or who paid for this type of entertainment? Are questions we need answered.
The other issue, Wayne, before I let you go, you and I have discussed previously the issue of driver's license renewal. We know we have to renew our driver's license cards every 5 years in South Africa. Is that something that Outa is still pushing to change?
Yes, we have written to the minister, and they are contemplating 8 years. We've asked that it should go to 10 years. The research that we produced, many countries have 10 years. There's no increase in road fatalities if you do push it out. In fact, our road fatalities with a 5-year renewal are far worse than many countries around the world. So, yeah, we've got some concerns. And also, you know, in 2013, De Pure Peters, the Minister of Transport back then, had already gazetted the move to 10 years. And for some reason that has not been explained, they pulled it back to 5 years. We think it's got to do with money making, again, because there's a lot of money that is made through these processes. And if you do it every 5 years, it doubles the amount of cards you can issue than if you do it every 10 years. So there's just not enough explanation given as to why the government is not acting in the best interest of the people, and why is this a money-making issue? Because government should not be running profit centers. They should be running efficient administrative systems that benefit the public and the country at large.
Yeah, absolutely. Wayne Duvenage is the CEO of the organization Undoing Tax Abuse. Wayne, thanks for your time this Monday morning.